Tangan dikocek, jalan menyengit, mata ke bumi, hati ke langit. Sabar menanti, peluang datang, begitulah.
You are doing fine?
I'm doing great, thanks.
That's good to hear. What about that budak nakal?
Budak nakal is next to me. Tada!
Hey, Azawar, apa khabar?
Baik bang, baik.
Sorry nak interview Jen.
No problem bang, okey bang. Saya tengah perangan motor ni bang.
Semalam borak dengan Tam. Tam pun dah kerinduan motor dia.
Itulah, kita tengah bincang-bincang lah ni. Kalau dapat PKP tu dah slow sikit, kita boleh lah buat perjumpaan, jumpa kat studio tu. Lama tak jumpa kat abang saya tu.
Yelah tu, Tam dah pujuk dah cari duit beli motor, boleh ronda-ronda sama.
Betul lah bang, betul. Saya setuju tu.
Dia cakap kalau dia tahu motor macam ni sedap, dulu-dulu lagi dia dah beli.
Itulah, dulu-dulu tu lah bang. Raya pun tak ada lagi. Okey bang, sambut borak dulu bang.
Okey. Okey, sorry. Ada pula dia situ. So, antara soalan yang paling mustahak, yang paling nombor satu, bagaimanakah kehidupan tukang masak masa kini?
Letih tu. Kopek ikan tu memang saya dah pakai perfume apa pun dah bau ikan dah. Jari semua bau ikan dah. Mandi berapa kali bau ikan lagi.
Pakai macam-macam pewangi pun tak boleh hilang
Tak boleh. Lepas ni macam dah lupa. Macam mana nak main piano C kat mana pun dah lupa dah.
Parah sangat tu. Tadi I baca you punya Instagram of course lah. So your mom very supportive. You punya jari-jari hanya untuk main muzik aja
Yelah, keluarga Cina memang macam tu lah. Macam komunis. Cara diorang ajar anak dia macam komunis.
Kiasu Alamak, pasal jari-jari tu hanya untuk main muzik aja.
Yelah kan cakap mak saya tu macam komunis sikit sebab dia very strict tau. Dulu mak saya, kan saya stay kat PJ. So orang panggil tu podu jail sebenarnya. Sebab dia tu co-curriculum dia bagi surat tak payah pergi. Apa-apa aktiviti ni dia tak bagi pergi tau sebab dia takut yalah kalau injured tak boleh praktis kan. So I start masak sebenarnya very very old, 20s. 20-an saja baru start. Sikit-sikit.
Tapi rancak betul you masak. Macam-macam I tengok you masak. I mean banyak setiap hari ada je gambar-gambar masakan. Laksa asam.
Tiap hari ada order. Tiap hari kena masak.
Ni
tapi
sejak
pot tu sebab I tak ada pot yang sangat besar. Lepas tu kedai pun semua tutup. So ikutkan pot yang saya paling muat ialah dalam 60 lebih paket.
Setiap hari ada Sejak PKP ke?
PKP ni seminggu sebelum PKP, seminggu sebelum puasa saja saya start. So dalam berapa, 11 hari.
Oh, okey.
Sebab komputer saya semua tak ada kat sini, ada kat studio. Saya apa job pun dah semua kena tolak sebab tak boleh sequence, tak boleh program. Apa pun tak ada. So saya fikirlah nak buat apa, dah bosan kan. Netflix pun, Korean drama pun dah habis tengok dah. So fikir masak lah, itu yang semua orang suka je.
Semua orang suka je So
itu je yang orang beli.
Delivery macam mana?
Delivery tu dia abang ipar saya in charge sebab dia ada food bag. So dia akan hantar lah. So start dengan dia seorang, lepas tu makin lama order makin tambah. So tambah runner lah. So hari ni ada 4 runner. So this laksa sebenarnya macam memberi diorang income sikit dalam keadaan PKP ni sebab office semua tutup.
Right. So yang runner ni you all punya sendirilah. Diorang ni bukan sign up dengan macam Lala Move ataupun Grab ataupun Foodpanda ke, bukan?
Sebab Lala Move dengan Grab punya harga is lagi mahal dan takut kalau mahal sangat orang takkan beli laksa tu. Because rumah saya pun memang jauh dari orang lain lah. Kita selatan sangat. So ala-ala
Walaupun
so okay lah. Kita cari personal runner.
okey. Walaupun masakan yang sedap tu yang semua orang cakap sedap.
Sedap tu subjektif lah. Mesti akan ada yang tak suka juga. Sebab sama dengan muzik kita. Ada orang akan cakap tak best lah dia main. Itu biasa.
Itu
Tapi we
orang
go
yang
with the majority. Majority kata okay, kita okay.
betul. Tadi you cakap your mum very very strict. Dia extracurricular activity semua dia tak bagi. Hanya boleh main music aja.
Sebab dulu I banyak kelas. I ada teori lah, ada tuition lah, ada violin lah, ada piano lah. So memang bila dah fill up semua tu, dah tak ada masa nak buat benda lain dah.
Dia sendiri memang musician ke, cikgu music ke apa? Your mother?
Dia piano teacher. Dua-dua, ibu bapa dua-dua is music teacher. So memang tak boleh lari. Memang saya takkan ponteng sekolah lah sebab dia ajar kat rumah. Sekolah tu cuti. Kalau time cuti, kalau kita pergi balik kampung, outstation, pergi Penang kan, semua saudara punya rumah ada piano. Awak rasa tak
boleh lari.
Tak praktis tak boleh makan ke?
So kalau you all dulu tinggal dekat Romania ke Russia ke apa, imagine I bayangkan macam mana Nadia Comaneci ataupun gymnast tau. Kalau korang tinggal ke Romania, mungkin you jadi seorang gymnast, having a mother like that. Tinggal kat Russia,
kalau
probably.
Kalau jadi gymnast, patah dia punya bar tu. Tahu. Can't take the weight.
So, you punya first performance umur berapa tahun di halayak ramai?
Actually muda sebab dulu I start dengan Yamaha. So Yamaha kan dia banyak macam konsert kecil-kecil. So 1989 ke 1890 macam tu, kita ada main untuk Sultan Azlan Shah, arwah Sultan Azlan Shah dulu for some event. So tapi yang show-show macam tu dia jenis semua free. But if you talk about macam competing macam overseas punya type was 1993. I pergi ke Czech Republic. Tapi itu semua klasikal lah.
Violin ataupun piano?
Yang tu piano. I pergi sana bertanding 3 tahun berturut-turut.
Dan keputusannya?
First tu tak lepas sampai ke final pun sebab sana kan international punya level. Tapi on the third try, masa tu I umur 15, I dapat Mayor of the Town Award lah, this special award from dia punya mayor.
Masa age yang macam tu kan, bila you perform in public kan, you takut tak? You ada rasa macam stage fright ke?
Rasa sebelum naik stage confirm rasa macam nak terberak je. Lepas tu tangan akan basah, rasa nak terkencing. Itu common lah. So tapi untuk saya main klasikal punya persembahan lagi pressure dari pop.
How so?
Sebab you're the only one on stage and everyone's watching you, and then diorang punya hall kan jenis kalau apa-apa jatuh pun dengar. So bayangkan kalau main salah. Dia punya pressure macam aduh tak minat lah.
Lepas tu after all these years you masih ada fear macam tu lagi tak?
Kadang-kadang ada. Kadang-kadang I think it's healthy to be nervous a bit sebab it makes me focus. Actually yang bila I perform, yang lagu-lagu yang I dah main like 10 tahun lebih ke apa kan, yang itulah saya paling jahanam dekat event sebab take for granted lah, kita macam terlampau familiar sampai time tu macam alamak apa jadi dengan lagu ni, macam terlupa form ke, terlanggar note ke kan.
Audience boleh sedar ke? Generally.
Kat situ kita dah belajar the art of cheating lah. on stage. Macam mana nak cover line baik punya.
In terms of practice kan, you masih practice every day ke ataupun you just perform je.
Tak lah.
Tak lagi.
I'm relying on what I have practiced for the last 20 over years.
Ada tak
For technique lah, sebab I think for pop and all that, the technique that I need to use is not as difficult as classical. Tapi kalau cakap nak main classical balik, berkarat tangan saya, jari saya semua dah tak boleh jalan dah.
Kenapa you tak pergi ke klasikal lebih mendalam?
Because at that time, actually dulu I dapat scholarship tau pergi Germany when in 1995. But entah macam mana, kalau I balik, cause I never had the intention to stay overseas. I memang suka with my family, you know, we're very close. So I fikir masa tu, what can I do with classical music dekat Malaysia, and there's no market for performances, and at that time macam MPO pun belum ada lagi. So I said, takkan saya nak jadi cikgu, saya dah lah macam tak erti nak ajar. I don't have the patience and the flair to teach. So then rasa macam, okay, why don't I go to a different type of music, sebab Yamaha punya background pun ada membantu dari segi kan dia ajar perfect pitch, dia ajar oral punya, pop punya barang juga. So from there I explore lah, cari apa yang I boleh buat. So rupanya kat situ lah baru tahu ada music arrangement, ada performances yang macam itu. That was the first time I was exposed to non-classical music.
This was when you were 15 je tu? A teenager
tak. Masa lepas form 5 je.
Lah. Okay, cop. So, having a family like yours kan, you dibenarkan mendengar lagu-lagu pop tak? Masa you budak-budak, tak ada?
No radio. That's why my repertoire is very, very bad. Honestly, sampai sekarang pun. So when I was in school days, memang tak dapat dengar radio. So apa lagu pun tak tahu. That's why every time people ask me, I don't know lah what song. Kalau tahu lagu pun, I do not know who's the singer. I memang fail until sekarang. And I can't keep up because it's like how many decades of, you know. And the thing is, after masa I dekat college, I thought okay nak main jazz ke pop ke apa. And then before I could finish, I tak sempat untuk pergi ke club scene because I dah touring dengan Jackie Chong on my final year. So kat situ, I pun tak dapat nak build balik dia punya repertoire. So I just go based on show lah. Kalau ada show, okay, I just learn the songs for the show and that's it lah.
So bila time you macam teenager dekat sekolah semua dulu, your friends semua akan dengar the pop music time you. So you macam blur lah, lost lah.
Blur lah. I harapkan my brother punya repertoire je lah. Abang I, dia ada lah zaman apa, Brian Adam ke, adalah sikit-sikit lah.
Macam nerd juga lah kat sekolah.
Adalah time tu, adalah kawan dia suruh ajar main November Rain, sikit-sikit macam tu lah. Oh, November Rain.
Mesti bila you dengar lagu-lagu pop, you macam Allah, senang-senang betul lagu-lagu ni semua Yeah. You ada perfect pitch?
Ada.
Itu you kena train ke ataupun you memang natural dapat benda tu?
I tak sure sama ada I was born with it ke train, sebab bila I dah pergi training, I dah dapat lah. So to find out kalau orang tu lahir ke tak is kalau dia memang tak ada knowledge music tapi dia still can detect, then only you will know lah.
Okay. Kali pertama I jumpa you sebenarnya ialah tahun 2005, 2006 lah. We've met in person pada time tu. Nikki Palikat punya album launch. Yeah. Dengan Vernon. Lepas tu I tengok you main violin lah dengan penuh keberanian. Lepas tu baru I tahu nama you dahsyat dan gempak lah.
Okey lah, cari makan je.
Kalau dekat Malaysia ni kan, kalau you tengok penyanyi-penyanyi, siapa yang you rasa yang most underrated sekali yang bakat dia dahsyat tapi dia tak pergi?
Elvira. Yeah, I think she's got a fantastic voice, but mungkin sebab dia tak ada pendedahan yang betul, or entahlah, macam perjalanan dia more to the club scene, I mean like macam jazz pub scene. So bila dia masuk mentor otai, dia dah berumur. So mungkin susah sikit untuk orang nak appreciate.
Betul.
Lepas tu dengan orang kan suka dengan dia punya dressing, dia punya tu semualah.
Betul. Sebagai arranger kan, kalau you terlampau hebat sangat you punya knowledge in music, you ada tekanan perasaan tak apabila cuba melakukan sesuatu muzik yang simple?
Ada.
How do I put it? Ada.
Actually in general, simplicity is always harder. Always harder. Dari segi music ke, dari segi masak ke, it's always the complicated ones that are actually easier. But then if you nak, that's why if you watch macam Master Chef ke apa kan, the main test, if they want to see whether you're a good chef, is to masak telur sahaja. How do you do your telur mata? How do you do your scrambled eggs? How do you do your, omelette and all that? Because the simpler it is, the harder it is. That's why for piano kan, the slower the song, payah, susah. Is very, very difficult because the control is more dia tak boleh tipu. When you do it, all those like slow songs, orang suka tengok technical or laju, they think that gempak, tapi people do not know that playing slower is actually a lot harder because it's like looking through a microscope. You cannot cheat. Laju boleh tipu. So that's why when macam classical musicians, bila dia orang dapat lagu yang laju, they have to always practice it very slow because you cannot cheat when it's slow. If you cannot do it slow, that means when you do it fast, you are really cheating.
Betul lah.
I pernah sekali when I had this classical piano teacher, 1 jam punya kelas, 2 note dia suruh I main saja. 2 note tu saya memang nak tumbuk muka cikgu tu sebab I menangis tau. I cried. I was like, bodoh punya cikgu ni, dah maki-maki semua. Otak I dah mencarut kat dia ni. Bodoh lah dia ni, kenapa lah. But that is how you have to get it perfect. So that you never get it wrong. A lot of people practice so that they try to get it right. But they actually have to practice so that they never get it wrong. So the approach is very different.
Wow. You practice for that so that you will never get it wrong. Instead of...
Yes. Because if you just try to get it right, maybe tomorrow you might get it wrong again because it's not solid enough. Kan?
Yeah.
Pandai cakap je, sekarang tak buat pun. Soalnya dah malas.
Dah ada semua benda tu, boleh lah cakap. It's your right lah sekarang tu cakap. Tapi masa I belajar main drums pun, masa dah tua. Betul lah, itu yang belajar. Kalau you tak boleh main perlahan dengan bagus, jangan harap you nak boleh main laju dengan bagus.
Control lah.
Control kan. Lepas pada I belajar main drum sikit-sikit, and then I sedari bahawa if you cannot do it slow, do it right, it's very difficult for you to do it faster and right. So I adapt perkara ni dalam lain-lain aspek kehidupan juga. I like to train martial art, I like to train boxing and kickboxing and all. Dulu memang nak laju-laju je semua kan. Tapi sekarang I like to do it much slower, more accurate.
Yeah.
From belajar counting drums lah.
So I think the principle to master a lot of things, whether it's sports or cooking or music or dancing, I think the principle of it is still the same. It's the foundation that is very important because even in construction, foundation is more important than interior design. Betul tak? if the main foundation is weak, your whole bangunan collapse, apa interior pun tak payahlah. So it doesn't matter how fancy your playing is. Even if you talk about makeup, foundation is the most important. Bukan dia punya eyeshadow lah, dia punya ni lah, dia punya detail tak. It's foundation. It's all about the foundation.
Ya, ya. Okay. Dulu bila budak-budak dulu lah orang cakap you kena practice satu hari 8 jam. Kalau you into gitar, you practice 8 jam. Make sense ke practice sampai satu hari sampai 8 jam?
I think it's not about how long you practice, but it's about how you practice.
How should you practice?
It depends on what you want to achieve. Like I have done practices like only 5-10 minutes, but because I zero to whatever I nak improve, I have to, before I start practicing, I have to ask myself, what do I want to improve? Is it like technique, or is it tempo, or is it a certain passage dekat lagu tu yang I tak dapat, so I try to master it, or is it stamina, or is it control, is it dynamics? You know, there's so many things, but a lot of people, diorang macam selalu main lagu tu, let's say classical, they will play from the beginning sampai ke ending, and they will repeat, they just play it, you play it, even if you play it for 12 hours, you're still going to end up the same, and if you do it wrongly, you're just perfecting your mistake. You're not actually improving.
For beginners, teknik ya satu benda yang you kena practice.
I think for beginners, what is important is your teacher, because if your teacher masa beginner is going to teach you your foundation, it's like teaching you how to walk. So if you walk wrongly, how do you expect to run correctly if you want to be a sprinter, right? So that beginning, that's why like my parents kan, my mom ajar piano, so she always prefer kalau student tu sebelum tu tak ada pengalaman from another teacher, because when they come from another teacher, dia kena undo tau, edit undo. So you have to you imagine if you're a person that has a bad habit for so many years, to undo that is going to take so long before you can actually start doing it right first, because it's macam dah default tau, dia akan default selalu ke cara salah, and then to undo that is more tedious than actually teaching someone to just from start cara yang betul.
Betul. Okay, I ada borak dengan Nan Azlan Alias.
Okay.
Dia cakap antara perkara yang dia mula-mula sedari apabila main dengan band dulu is how to manage, masa ni dia masih budak-budak sekolah lagi, how to manage the band members. Lepas tu dia cakap, and then what's most important is to manage the emotion of the band members while playing at the particular time, at the particular place for a particular person. Okay, so how do you find managing people? Musician ni perangai macam-macam kan, ada kan? Macam mana you manage orang?
Okay, honestly masa I first start, I think I gagal banyak kali lah. I think communicating with another human being is the biggest challenge in any job, whether you're working in an office or even within your family, or be in musicians, because semua orang ada perangai lain, semua orang ada mindset lain, cara masing-masing. And I think dealing with people is actually a skill which you have to master. Sometimes, okay, contoh I come from a very strict background kan, classical, ni lambat 5 minit I kena rotan. So can you imagine when I came into the pop scene, I went like, contoh ada rehearsal, they said 10 o'clock call time. That was just me being a musician, belum music director. They said call time 10 o'clock. Masa I pergi, kerusi pun semua belum susun. Then I kena gelak. They say, why are you here so early? It's 12. So the meaning of punctuality is very different in this part of music. And for me, I tak biasa. So I get very, because I'm the type, I dah membesar dengan kaedah yang sangat punctual. So when I am late, I get very nervous. I get very macam agitated tau, because I'm so used to that. So when I became a music director where I'm in charge and the musicians datang lambat, initially I betul-betul struggle because I was so by the book. I was like, kenapa, you know, I didn't know how to handle them. So of course some musicians were offended, some musicians were, why, macam kalau jenis offended ada yang dah tak nak main dengan I, blacklist. And not only that, when I work, let's say with let's say certain TV station, dulu kan I ada kerja dengan yang buat AF, and then let's say contoh payment masuk lambat. So I was too by the book that I did not know how to handle this type of situations. How do I get what I want without offending the person is actually a skill. But I thank God that I ada ramai kawan keliling yang ajar and say, no Jen, actually if you're like that nanti orang akan jadi stress. So why don't you try kaedah macam ni. So those are the friends yang I betul-betul hargai because they are at least honest enough to tell me, and it's not, and I learned lah, it's not about who is right and who is wrong, but it's about, okay, how do we solve the problems? Sebab problems happen everywhere. You can't run away. Nobody is immune to problems, but how you deal with it takes time, and it's a process. It just gets, as it gets harder, you learn to master it. So dulu macam contoh lah, kalau tiba-tiba last minute musician cakap, alamak I double book lah, I tak boleh buat you punya show. I used to get so angry. It's like, what? Where's your commitment? Kenapa kau dah start membebel kan? Like, how can you do this? Technically I'm right, but there is a way to handle it. So now how I look at it, it still happens. The situation is still the same. It still happens, but the difference is my attitude dah ubah. So when I get a situation like that where musician last minute, alamak esok tak boleh lah, saya tak boleh. In my mind, what I tell myself is, it's okay. I know God has somebody better for me. That's why He allows this to happen, so I don't get stressed. So then I just start to look and I know that kadang-kadang dia bagi kita musician yang may not be the best for the job, but kadang-kadang dia letak orang tu kat situ for a different purpose. Maybe to help the person, so when the priorities have changed, it's not all about quality, it's all about people. Then I think I learned to handle it much better lah. Dulu selalu panas baran juga, so now better.
Time management ni is something yang kita really teruk at it lah. Sebenarnya, is this a Malaysian thing or memang musicians around the world they are like this?
I think generically is musicians, sebab mana ada orang buat concert office hour, realistically kan. So and ideas only come out at night. It's just something about our industry that is like that. But at the same time, it's not a healthy lifestyle because we are created to wake up in the morning and sleep at night. So to find a balance for that, I think is quite a skill lah. It's quite tough.
So bila you dah involved dalam pop music, pop world ni, your sleeping pattern pun dah berubah ke? You jadi Pontianak tidur siang aja ke?
Ada jugalah. Lepas tu dah kahwin orang yang memang suka tidur lambat. So it's a bit tricky. But sejak buat masak ni, I have to wake up at 7, 6 something. So I feel that banyak benda I boleh buat. Although it's 24 hours, but somehow doing it at a different time does make a big difference.
How so?
It's all about time management lah, because if you do it, like say if you do it morning, okay, kalau tengok bahan tak cukup, you still have time to go out and do, because shops are only open certain hours. There's no, banks are only open certain hours. So if you only wake up when the banks are already closed, then you know that certain things you cannot do.
True.
So if you learn how to manage, and then let's say sementara tengah beratur ke, okay, sort what you can on your phone. So you multitask lah. Multitask is a skill. I heard
exist
men
ke?
cannot multitask kan.
Man cannot do multitask lah. Itu people from another universe saja yang can do multitask. Um,
Aduh.
Betul. Ya, ya. It seems that you dengan Hazama kelihatan seperti dua watak yang sangat berbeza. Bila I borak dengan you ni baru I lebih sedar betapa kuatnya disiplin you, your family background semua.
It was quite hard to adapt lah mula-mula because I'm a very punctual person and he's obviously not. So he became a bit more punctual and I had to just relax on that a little bit. So it's a good balance. Both of us because we are so opposite kan. So kita belajar untuk cari balance lah. It complement
Yeah.
each other.
Betul. Setelah beberapa tahun ni dia masih lagi surprise you tak?
Sometimes.
Masih lagi
Sometimes lah macam selalu sebab kita pun boleh lah sebab because when I know him so well it's hard to surprise also.
Ya, true. Tapi kalau lepak dengan dia memang tak kering gusi. Memang gila lah budak ni. Hilang tadi.
Ada orang call sorry.
Kebolehan dia untuk mimik macam-macam penyanyi.
Kan. He's got
sangat
very unique talent lah. He's mungkin orang yang tak kenal dia mungkin akan alamak. Okay.
Orang yang tak kenal dia?
Orang yang tak kenal dia mungkin dia takkan faham certain things that dia approach sebab dia mungkin dia ada kelemahan untuk berkomunikasi dengan orang and he's a very straightforward person. Tapi dia punya pemilihan ayat mungkin akan bagi orang salah faham. Even I also banyak kali salah faham juga. But that's why I said it's all about communication. How you communicate a certain point so that orang tu takkan rasa offended ke. Dia takkan rasa macam kenapa dia kurang ajar ke kan. So but the thing is he is a very honest person. Dia memang suka tak suka he can't hide it.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, betul. You guys are in the same industry kan? Daripada dia mungkin ke you telah belajar benda-benda baru lagi dalam muzik? In whatever ways.
Actually I never stop learning about music although I am very experienced in it, but sometimes to see it from an angle of a person that has no theoretical background kan, it's actually very different. I can even learn from a child who is just doing it's non-stop. It's just a matter whether you pick it up or you don't pick it up. So masa mula-mula this PKP pun actually I offered free music lessons. I'm not sure if you saw it in my Instagram, but I offered because I thought macam mana I nak bagi balik and I don't know what to give, nak sedekah taklah macam banyak duit nak sedekah kat satu Malaysia kan. So I was thinking how can alamak, I did offer music lessons and even teaching these beginners, I also learn a lot because they are looking at it from a very different angle and how to break down a certain thing to its simplest explanation is also Aduh banyak orang call pula.
Tak apalah kalau you nak answer tu dulu.
Tak apa.
Okay. It's to break it down to its simplest form that you were saying.
So when you are dealing with a person, I mean, because your knowledge of music is so high, how do you explain that to a person who does not have that knowledge and kena break down lah, okay, to its simplest form supaya dia. When you have to explain it at its simplest form, if I'm a teacher and I have to explain a certain point to a student, if I fail to let them understand means I have failed as a teacher. Right? So how do you find, okay, macam mana I nak break down, okay, you leave your fingers like macam ni, okay, if you do this then this will happen. It's like So from there I also learn how to teach a certain point to these kids lah, which is quite interesting actually. And then there was one that every day she will send me videos on the song, macam I told her to practice, and then kadang-kadang okay I record, okay this is how you should do it, slow movement, then dia can practice, and she improved so much. So it was quite satisfying lah juga untuk tengok macam I got to help somebody and saw the improvement kan.
The progress, yeah. Betul. Itulah tu. Orang selalu cakap kat I, if you fail to explain to people, maknanya you sendiri pun tak faham benda tu.
Yes, betul.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. In anything lah, whether in terms of even agama, for example, if you cannot explain what you believe or what you have learned in its simplest form, means you do not understand what you really know lah.
Betul. I aspire to explain to people astrophysics.
Okay, never mind, I don't even know what it means. I'm a musician still, not.
So, apa yang you probably telah belajar daripada Hazama dalam music?
I learned to not be too technical. You know, when you come up from a classical punya background, it's like, okay, let's say even for arrangement, kadang-kadang kita dapat lagu, we tend to imagine the whole concert macam mana, okay, dia dah perform ke atas, but padahal this is just to the album. So and I learned from him that actually arranging for album and live is so different, although it's music arrangement, but the approach is so different. In album it has to be very very simple, you know, because orang dengar berulang-ulang kali, whereas for live it has to be bigger, or I mean it's different. I learned that it's different, and for him he always said don't bother about the arrangement dulu, you just think about the melody. So that's why dia akan bagi dari angle yang sangat berbeza lah. So from there the barang yang keluar pun akan jadi lain sikit. Kalau tak kita complicated lah. Kan?
Betul lah. Di masa yang sama you adapt dan adjust jugalah macam mana cara untuk hidup berdua dalam kehidupan harian. You boleh belajar daripada situ.
I think that's a challenge for anybody who's married. It's not only like both of us, whether it's, I mean, different culture, of course, it's more challenging. Sebab I membesar dengan one way and he's another way. And at the end of the day, it's not that my way is more correct than his or his is more correct than mine. It's just different, you know. And of course, compromise is very important. But at the end of the day, I think what I realized is, where do I stand as a wife? Because mula-mula it was hard for me because I come from a very dominating background where I make a lot of decisions in my house. I was the sole breadwinner, so I had to so I decide a lot of things. But when you're married, that's not your job. Your job is to support. Call it old-fashioned or whatever, but that's why a lot of families break when they fail to understand where their like hierarchy, in that sense, like you are just a wife, you are a supporter, not so when it comes to decision making, I mean there's a lot of things that Hazama tak cukup pengalaman and that I have gone through, but because he is the head of the family, I have to let him learn to make the decision even if it's going to be wrong, and then just back up the whatever I have to clean up lah. But he has to learn to make decisions because he's the head. But it was quite a painful process lah, because it's like, you know, automatically I will tend to decide for him. Then kat situ, you know, it's like, tapi I'm the head of the house, you know, and it's just understanding the role in the family is important and respecting his decision, although it's different from mine.
Right. Okay, sorry if I'm too blind. This kind of thinking, you form this kind of thinking after you're married, or this is the kind of thinking that you dah ada sama-sama ni, yang the husband is the head of the house?
I grew up with that kind of teaching because my parents always practice that. Even, I mean, I am very fortunate to have parents that have very, very good principles. You know, that's where they teach me about punctuality, they teach me about commitment, they teach me about respect, and honesty. All those are very good principles, but when you come and bring it into a marriage, the response is different. But in my family, we grow up together. Now I'm entering another person's life with totally different principles. And for me, it's like, okay, benda-benda simple macam, if you take something from that place, you make sure you put it back. If you borrow money from people, make sure you pay back. You know, those type of principles. And when it's a bit more flexible in different upbringings, then you find like, why, yeah? So that was also one of the struggles that I had sebab one was too strict, good principles, but it was too rigid that nak adapt ke orang lain punya ni, it was a bit difficult. Makan terus basuh pinggan, tu.
I would
Dia,
assume you punya toothpaste you tekan daripada bawah lah.
I tekan dari mana-mana je.
Macam
I mean,
bercanggahan dengan your character lah.
Those are little things which definitely can trigger a marriage, but for me it's okay, it's still too trivial to be an argument lah. But for me it's more of like, okay, ambil barang tempat ni letak balik sebab nanti nak cari tak ada, or something that is pertaining to hygiene. Kalau dah pakai tandas flush, or if anything that is spill on the floor, wipe it up. So those kind of things I am a bit more like struggle to be understanding lah. But I have to also understand that I am bringing my upbringing into their life, where diorang pun is the same problem but in reverse, because they have grown up with a certain upbringing, and for them to also adapt to that is also going to take time. I cannot expect macam, although I feel that I may be right, but I cannot macam impose on them and expect them to, esok terus semua okay. But it's a process, and from there I actually learn to be patient. How do I get the point across, and how do I teach them to save money? How do I, it's everything is a process, and because of their, I don't know if you want to call it a kekurangan, but because of that, I learned to be better. Be more patient, be more understanding. Jangan terus judge, terus compare dengan kita punya upbringing, and then it's like, kenapa dia macam ni tak, no, it's not healthy lah.
Betul. Okay. Last few questions lah. Sekarang ni you dah into memasak ni kan? Especially for PKP bulan Ramadan dan PKP. As a musician, in regards to COVID-19, how do you see the near future?
I think entertainment will always be important, because okay, that day I was watching a live IG of this guy who was interviewing I think Blockbuster punya video producer and all that. So they said, of course production, the thing dropped because orang tak boleh keluar untuk shoot. But he said, do you know that the demand on Netflix went up so much and people are all watching because they had content is very important, sebab apa-apa hiburan is important. And no matter what, I think people will still need entertainment, but how are they going to get the entertainment, or how much they can afford? I think it's different. And I think this COVID thing is just like resetting the whole world. Like it's like on a reset button. I don't know what's going to be normal after this, but I think it will be exciting. Maybe our normal has been always wrong. We have been focusing on the wrong things because it was so free. And the one thing that I was always thinking in this whole COVID was, how did Noah do it in the ark? Noah's ark. I think that was the first lockdown, and there was only like 7 of them full of animals. I mean, they can't even go to the kedai. One person pakai mask. It was just flood. How did he do it? How did he keep the food? There was no 7E, there was no canned food, there was no fridge. How did they do it? But I'm sure in that season it was rough. bau animal punya tai semua mesti ada. And the technology wasn't that great at that time. But yet they survived it and it multiplied. Everything went back to, you see lah how many billion people today kan. So I don't think it's just that people are not used to this condition. But for me, I think if you know how to take advantage of it, a lot of great things can come out of it. Like for me, I suddenly tiba-tiba discovered this business and I do not know where it's going to lead me. I think the most important is don't focus on the problem. You focus on where is it going to bring you? Focus on the fact that if for me, right, a lot of people, of course, the most important, the biggest struggle a lot of people now is financial kan, sebab ada yang tak boleh kerja. But for me, that's where if you believe that rezeki tu Tuhan punya, now is the best time for you to practice it, right? So if you believe that He will provide for you, then waiting I think is the hardest thing for a human being sometimes, because they always memang susah menunggu. Sekarang semua kan instant noodle lah, mi segera lah, kopi express lah, drive through lah, because people, the society now have problems waiting. So when they wait, of course, kalau diorang nak doakan rezeki, you just don't sit there and expect the money to drop from heaven. Also, you have to work hard. Like I was telling some of my friends, I said, I can help you so much. I can swap you also, but telan tu you yang kena telan tau. I tak boleh telan the food for you. So there are certain things that you have to do it on your own. You have to choose. And for me, there's no excuse whether it's COVID ke tak COVID. There's always no excuse. You have to, there's always a solution, is whether you want to find it or not.
So this yang memasak this is just a temporary thing for you probably, because you think the thing that you want to do is really music,
I've been doing music all my life. I didn't even know that people will buy my cooking. I'm actually more excited in this cooking thing because ya ke orang nak makan ke I masak ni. Whereas like maybe music is like something macam dah, not to say dah basi lah, but I've done it since I was like 4 years old kan, belajar music. So it's like kiri kanan piano teacher, so it's like, so for me this is really an adventure that I'm enjoying. I'm not saying that I'm hoping that this will be longer, but actually I can master it, and see where it leads me. And the one thing that I really learned in this COVID is never give excuses, because just try. Because kan kita kadang-kadang kan we will speculate, oh ni tak boleh ni tak boleh ni, but the thing is if you never try, you never know, and you never know where it leads you. It's easier for God to help a moving car than to help a stationary car. So if you don't get up from your bed and try, He can't move you to left or right because you're still stuck.
Or He won't move you.
Yeah, He will, because you have to learn to move. You have to
correct.
move first.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
You
said about the reset button, I feel it too. So it gives me some kind of an optimistic view about my near future. We are all now starting back from scratch. So
it's back, actually, if you look at it, it's back to basics, It's really back to basics. What is the one thing that everybody is looking for is food. That's why I chose to cook in this season, because everybody needs to eat to survive. You don't have technology, you still can survive. Even if you have all the money in the world, but if there's no supply for your basic food, you will die. You will get hungry. It's all back to basics. So that's why I believe technology or man-made things can never ever beat nature lah. It's still something about nature because it's God's creation, kan?
Betul. Jen, thank you so much for your time. It's been very enlightening.
Anytime, bro.
Terima kasih.
Cari tak esok atau lusa.